Oh. Oh. Damn it! I mean, welcome to Out Past the Rings, volume 137. Today we're talking about the Envy Love 12-inch tribute compilation that came out on December the 16th of 2018. Yes, a little later. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. The history of this goes back to the Jerome's Dream tribute compilation, which came out, I don't know, maybe like a year before this? No, maybe like a year and a half before this. So, as previously mentioned on Out Past the Rings, that was kind of like an adopted baby. That was not my idea. Kind of, the other label was like, can you take care of this? I can't really do it. So I was like, okay. So, you know, I would have been a little more picky with the band choices. Like 30 plus bands is a lot of bands, or whatever it was, 29, 30. So I went for a more cohesive, just like, I don't know. I became well aware later on, finding out that a lot of the bands that contributed to the Jerome's Dream compilation hadn't heard Jerome's Dream before. So that's not what I was going for with this. Like, it's cool to like show a band a new band, or you know, listen to a comp and find out about a new band doing something completely different. But this is something that I wanted to contact bands specifically that were really into Envy, and I thought could pull off a cover, you know, make it Envy but still retain their own sound, kind of thing. So I was very picky with the bands that I contacted. There were a couple that straight up, and I asked them, they straight up said, we don't really listen to Envy. And I was like, that's totally cool. Like, thank you for telling me. So a couple bands, we just like stopped communicating regarding this release based on that. And that was totally fine. So the initial idea was to have this as a double 12-inch, but I just couldn't really get enough bands to really warrant that kind of thing. And just trying to like get everything done in time, it just became apparent that it would just be kind of silly. And I had recently done the 8 Feet Under double 12-inch compilation thingy, and that didn't do so well. So I was kind of like, if I don't need to spend additional money with an extra disc, I will not, especially if it was only like one side and we were going to have a blank D side. That just did not seem worth it. So there were like some slight hiccups along the way. Militia Bahat lost a member. Militia Bahat was supposed to be on this, and luckily I had just premiered the Shizune song a few days prior, and which was probably what reminded them, oh, maybe we can't do this because we lost a member. But it also caught the attention of LKTDOV, and they were like, oh, can we contribute to this compilation? And I was like, that's great timing, because I just had a band cancel. So they hopped on. You would also perhaps notice that Agak from Japan is on the digital version of this tribute, but not on the physical version, and that is because the song was essentially submitted late. I didn't get the track, nor was I 100% certain that they were submitting a track until I think it was done at the plant. I got it back, and then they were like, can we contribute? And I was like, we haven't released it digitally, why don't we just like tack it on at the end? I mean, it would have been really nice to have an additional song on the record that was not available online, but this is kind of the opposite of that, and that's totally fine with me. Connie from See You Space Cowboy and whatnot did the art for this. So why don't we start with the test presses? So it was obviously 5 of the test presses. I made a little like additional thing here and sold the 4 of the extra test presses to make back some of the money to pay for the full-on pressing. So this is what the actual art was intended to look like. As you're going to find out soon, this is not how it all turned out. So the huge issue that came, at least from my end, and no one else probably is even aware of it, was that when I ordered the records, for some reason the rep at this place was like, I don't remember how he worded it, but it was worded in a way that I didn't understand what exactly he was talking about. I'm like, whatever's normal is fine, and one would assume that normal would be like all the other records, and that would mean that there was no hole in the center of the jacket. But this is not the jacket that we got. I was looking for a bunch of black and a couple white to do another variant, so there's like you know, what it was supposed to look like, I ended up, well, let's just show this. So a bunch of them have these holes, and when I first got them, I flipped out because I had this thing made. It was like $100 or whatever, a special stamp thing that I could stick onto stamp ink, boom, and that's how you get that. But with the circle in the middle, especially for the track listing, I was like, oh my god, it's like right in the middle, what am I gonna do? So I decided to cut it up. Yeah, so that was, like, I was pretty frustrated. I'm sure probably more with myself than with the rep at the pressing plant. But I asked, oh, not only that, a bunch of, was it these ones? No, I think a bunch of the jackets were dented. I think 150 out of 300 came. The box was just crumbled on one side. They were all bent to shit. It was not good. So, in the process of being like, oh, I got the wrong ones, I didn't want these ones, half these are destroyed. So, like, would you like us to replace them? Like, yes, please replace them with the ones I initially asked for, which is why the later on versions do have, like I was showing before, the full art, and I just kind of like put the pieces back together. You can actually see the line from where it was cut. Anyway, so, God, if I had to start guessing, I would say that there are 25 or less of the white cover with the full thing. I think there's like 10 maybe. And then these ones I really tried hard to do a lot of. Like a silver, whitish print on the black. I don't know. I thought the ones that turned out well turned out really well, but trying to stamp these was hell. I had to use StazOn ink, and StazOn ink only comes in like the small little ones. So I'm sitting there, you know, trying to stamp all of these, and especially when I was using the white really picks up quickly, and then you have to apply more. So it was just, I was just flying through stuff. Like the packaging on this ended up costing so much extra. I wish I had just printed the check, the plant. I still have like 50 that I haven't done. The last 50, when I think there was one left in the store. When that one sells, I will do the last 50 of these, and I don't know what it is I'm gonna do in terms of the packaging for it, but I still have more of these things to put them in. It's just a matter of how am I gonna stamp them and so forth. So there's that one, and then, so if I had to guess, probably close to 100 of the black ones with the white. Maybe more like 75, because I don't think I got to a full 100. And then we did some of the reverse ones with the whites that also had the hole in the middle. Again, there's probably like 10 max. The stamping, you can tell, just turned out a whole lot nicer than trying to use the white. So many of the black ones were just straight up botched and had to be tossed. I even did, there's maybe like 10 or 15 again on, maybe even like 20 or 25. This is black ink. I don't know if you can see it at all. It is, oh, there we go. Actually looks pretty cool. It's black ink on black. I was pretty proud of that one. You just can't really tell what you're looking at for the first little bit. So, and then this is the last ones that I've done. Maybe 100 or so were like this. I didn't want to do the full stamps. I abandoned the stamps, I grabbed my own stamps, and I stamped Envy Love on the cover, and that is it. And it was super nice and easy, did not take forever, did not ruin any covers. Now, I think the pressing says 300, I think there's more like 337 or something like that, and they're all on black. I also got, I guess, lazy over time and just did flowers on the back. But all of the initial ones do have the AB stamps, which I will show you now. Still covered in white stamping, but whatever. So those were also made by Connie, specifically. Oh, right, I should show you the insert. Another thing that I did myself, and in retrospect was not the right call, because it took way too much time and effort. I'm trying to do, oh, look at that. I guess there's 308 of them, according to this. I could have sworn I was writing 333 all the time. We'll have to check some more copies and see what the deal is there. So you've got some sparkle paper as the outside piece, and then the inside piece, it it varies depending on what you've got. This is just a regular white sheet inside. Sometimes they're double sparkle. There's some lighter sparkle. There's some darker sparkle as well. Actually, a picture of a lake and some trees in the mist. I think Ryloth was going to use that picture for an album cover, and then I used it for this and didn't think anyone would notice the difference. But Ryloth noticed immediately. I was like, oh, I can't use that for the cover anymore. It's like, oh man, I almost made a cover for someone. That would have been so cool. So anyway, in here we have where what album things are from, how long everything is, and I had all of the bands do a written explanation of what envy means to them. So another thing that wouldn't really have worked out had we had some bands that had never really listened to envy. They would have to bullshit their way through it. So it's pretty cool, and they're numbered. I think Connie, you got the website and stuff up there, blah blah blah, and they're numbered in silver usually. So again, I got about 50 of those to make still, but whatever. Now, like I said, there's one left in the store. I haven't talked about the bands or anything yet. Alright, let's go through them then. So on the A side, you've got Beast Jesus. Beast Jesus' cover of this is just unreal. It's so good. It is, dare I say, as good as the original because they expand on it, include additional instrumentation and additional vocals, sung vocals that just bring it to a new level. Absolutely fantastic. It might even be the last Beast Jesus song that they ever recorded. When I heard it, I was like, this is the opener. Like, there's no question about it. It's just so good. So if you haven't heard the Beast Jesus cover, good lord, go listen to that. It's amazing. Massa Nera. I believe this was the first Massa Nera song recorded with all of the, maybe not all the current members, but definitely it was the one where the first one where the primary vocalist had left. And the members of the band, the instrumental members, were now doing the vocals for it. You got LKTDOV. There's they had a single or like a 3-song EP that came out just before this, and one of the songs in particular that has a music video is just unreal stuff. So when they reached out, I was kind of just like, yeah, that's a big definite yeah. Crowning, of course, Crowning is on here. Rectify for not having them on the Jerome's Dream comp, as they should forever hate me for that. But this was really good too. It had James from truly from Crowning, or from Ido and stuff when he had joined the band. So this would have come out. I can't remember. I think this came out right at the same time as the Marie Noir split, which is coming for Out Past the Rings. Dave Cullen is working on it. You got Niboowin, ex Old Soul, so forth. Did a really good cover of Left Hand. Very stoked someone did a Left Hand cover. Really good stuff. What do we got? Apostles of Eris, the band that I'm in, did the Spiral Manipulation, Jesse Mowry, goddamn beast. Added some additional solos and spacey stuff to that song that I absolutely adore. He decided that we should sing it in English because we don't speak Japanese, so some of we did like the lyrical interpretation, and as per usual, I'm pretty sure that I changed some of the timing and some of the lyrics because that's how I roll with covers. Respire's Go Mad and Mark. Definitely one of the cornerstones of this album, this tribute. Just a remarkable cover. Again, making it their own while still staying true to the original. It means a lot that I have this song on a ZBR release exclusive, and it hasn't showed up anywhere else. It is just so good. They made a music video for it as well that you should most definitely check out. But I won't tack onto this because I will get copyright infringement. Gillian Carter. This was a Gillian Carter song right after they had left Tony, or they had Tony leave on drums. So Logan had to, I don't want to say learn drums, but had to do the drums for this, and that had essentially limited their track choices. So I did a podcast where Logan talks a lot about the cover and why this was chosen and so forth. So you should check that out. It's a very good listen. Carcajou, ex Nous Étions. They had released, I guess, their first EP. They released another EP maybe like 2 years after this, which is also really good. And then you got Shizune. Shizune was released technically like way earlier on a Zampler, I think January of that year. So it was kind of a long time coming. And another just one of the songs that are just really well done. And they've played it live and stuff. It looked great. Sounded fantastic. I don't think there's anything else more to say about this. Next one coming up is the Curtains New Ruins split cassette, which we, I think, just sold out of maybe like a month or two ago. So that's too bad because, well, we'll talk about it soon. So until next time, this goddamn just wasted $100 down the